Hello and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Premise for today's preview, Ospreys versus the Sharks in London. URC with a bit of a twist and very interested to see how this goes. This game is going to be taking place at the Twickenham Stoep on Friday evening, and I think the first URC game to take place outside of the regular sort of URC countries. It will be in the UK, in London, and two very big teams, the likes of the Ospreys as well as the Sharks, who commercially are really trying to sort of push the boundaries, two pretty good teams actually. Obviously missing a lot of the internationals. Springboks are busy celebrating a Rugby World Cup win. The Welsh players are currently a lot of them are in camp and are getting ready to play against the Barbarians this weekend. For example, the Ospreys captain Justin Tipuric not available as he is playing in the Barbarian side on Saturday against Wales, which is a little bit controversial. I don't think too many people are upset that he's chosen to play for the Barbarians over the Ospreys, but more just the fact that the scheduling clash itself. But before we look at the two teams, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So the URC gets its full attention this weekend, doesn't it? We've had 2 rounds where people are kind of half-washed. They kind of kept an eye of it in the corner, but now we can really get back into it, given the fact that the World Cup is over, and now, our thirst for rugby is probably ever more in terms of now having Rugby World Cup action to watch. So I do think that obviously the URC will start to get a bit more supportive the next few weeks, especially when our Springboks start to return to playing for our unions and stuff like that. So let's look at the side, shall we? And this is the Shark side that will run out over in London, and a couple of new faces in there. For me, the big news is, look at the number 11. Dyantyi made his return off the bench last weekend. He will start for the first time in 4 years after that ban of his. I'm absolutely buzzing to see what he can do. But before we get to twos in the back, let's look at the front row of Dylan Richardson at hooker and Currie big acquisition was Currie Oosthuizen in that number 3 jersey. No Thomas Atoy, no Carly Sadi, so a little bit low on depth there. So bringing that Currie to Oosthuizen was a huge acquisition. Obviously, in terms of loosehead, Resekova, Ditswe, and Che will join them up eventually. Dylan Richardson, interesting. He's played most of his rugby for the Sharks on the flank, has played hooker at various levels, including the Sharks. He was on the bench as a hooker replacement last weekend, and is now started hooker. So interesting to see where John Plumtree sees his future as. In the second row, Cornell and Emile van Heerden. I'm a big Cornell fan. I think that he's got a very bright future, and I think Emile van Heerden's a player who's had a bit of a stop-start sort of time in his early career here, but again, lots of talent there. And obviously, when Netsbed comes back, who better for these two landlocks to learn from than a 2-time World Cup winner. The loose chairs: James Spencer, Pepsi Buthelezi, Sikambozi Noche. Good to see Sikambozi Noche starting, and interesting to see Pepsi Buthelezi continues to play on the flank. Evan Roos as well has been named on the flank, and shout out to analyst Gus, on Twitter. He's a man of mine who actually wrote an article about how he'd like to see certain players shifting from the 8 to the 7, including a Pepsi Buthelezi, an Alred Lowe, for example. Now we're seeing Evan Roos. So it's interesting to see how that has sort of started to happen. The halfback pairing, Cameron Wright, Kern Bosch. A lot of people sitting there wondering, where is Siya Masuku? Where is Francois Hougaard? Valid questions, to be honest. I mean, Francois Hougaard was brought in on a short-term deal, so we're not to see him. And I'd really like to see what Siya Masuku does on the side. The two wings, Dyantyi and Werner Koch. Lots and lots of talent and graph between those two. In the centres, Rowan Jansen van Rensburg next to Francois Venter. I think Rowan Jansen van Rensburg is going to have a big season. He looked brilliant early on the season, coming off the bench. We know the type of impact player he is, and I think he could be pushing for a box squad next year. I think when Damien Delendi moves on, I think that he could be very much in the mix there. And then Varsity at fullback, big season ahead of him. Billy Leroux, I think, time in the Springbok jerseys a bit numbered, and you've got a Warwick back in the country who's going to be pushing for that 15 spot. Damien Willems has made it his own for now, but Fassi will want to get himself back in that mix. Off the bench is Kieran van Vuren, Dian Bleuler, Honor Jacobs, Hyman Andrews, and George Cornier. You then got Z Mkabela, and Butter Chamberlain, and Murray Costa off the bench for the backline replacements. In terms of the Ospreys, this is how they line up. They will be captained by number 8, Morgan Morris. In the front row, they'll have Garen Phillips, Ethan Lewis, and Tom Buerta. You'll have a tough match actually against I think it's a decent front row from the Sharks. In the second row, it is Rhys Davies and James Fender. The back row is James Ratty, Harry Dees, and Morgan Morris. Ruben Morgan Williams will partner Owen Williams in an all-Williams Halfback pairing, big fan of Owen Williams. I think he's a great player, and I think he needs a big season. It's an interesting time for Welsh rugby. That's a bit of a new generation. And I said before the tournament, which is in many ways why I was a little bit upset when Argentina beat them, because I think that this Welsh side have got talent, have got potential. And Owen Williams, he's 31 years old, so he's not the youngest. So I'm not sure if he'll be involved moving forward in the national setup. But I think if you're looking at someone who wants a bit of experience ahead in that squad, no Dan Bigger, he has retired, so Sam Costello is the up-and-coming option. But I think Owen Williams has a part to play. In terms of the rest of the backline, Toby Fricker and Luke Morgan on the wings, Owen Watkin next to Kieran Williams in the centres there, and Jack Walsh will start at full back. Off the bench, it is Lewis Lloyd, Rhys Henry, Ben Warren, Lewis Jones, Morgan Morse, Luke Davies, Max Nagy, and Luke Scully. Kickoff is at 9:30. We will be live for that game. It won't be me. I'll be doing the Stormers game, which is at the same time. Cheers, URC, for putting 2 South African games at the same time. But it just means we'll have extra rugby to watch. So let me know which game you're going to be watching. And for this game, I want a score prediction down in the comments below. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.